Ladies and gentlemen, the hype is real. We had two brand new WWE champions at the end of tonight. My name is Clinton Navigator Bowman, and you are watching the Money in the Bank post-show wrap-up. I'm joined by Carl May Smart. We just finished watching the pay-per-view. WWE pulled the trigger. Like, what is going through your mind right now?
All I'm going to say at this point in time, my friend, is that there is rioting in Cleveland, there's rioting in Las Vegas. Man, this has been one crazy night.
Definitely, man. You know, coming off of, like, let's be honest, you know, outside of the WWE sphere of things, the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Golden State Warriors by 4 to, you know, go up 4-3 and are the NBA champions this year. But the fact that Dean Ambrose not only won Money in the Bank tonight, but cashed in and successfully cashed in at that to become WWE champion for the first time in his career, you know, after a boring main event and an overall middling show, you know, that has a lot to be said.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, it was one of those shows where we sort of sit through it and go, okay, this is a thing until we get to Cena and AJ, which we're all excited to see. We watched that. It was like, okay, now it's over. Oh, look, the NBA Finals are getting exciting. And then NBA Finals are over. Okay, let's go back to the main event. Seth Rollins wins. Dean Ambrose wins. What the hell? Can't take any more surprise endings.
All right, so let's talk about the main event. Roman Reigns defends against Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns walked in the champion. This match was boring. I just gonna say it outright. I could not pay attention to this match. It was just honestly for me. It was Roman Reigns being the Roman Reigns that we have begged for about 10 months too late.
Yeah, he was out there. He was aggressive. He was everything that we've been wanting him to be for the last, 2 years. And now that he's finally got to that point, it's like, well, who cares? We're bored of him already.
Right. So essentially, when we get to the end of the match, which actually picked up, I mean, that ugly pedigree counter from a spear, I mean, that was a pretty ugly counter. But, I mean, to end the match, Seth Rollins did hit the pedigree, and he became this 2-time WWE World Champion. Your thoughts on that ending? Your thoughts on were your thoughts in alignment with mine where I just said, thank God this is over?
Yeah, at that point, I was very much, thank God this is over. This night really dragged for me as a whole. And it's like, okay, Seth Rollins is now your new WWE champion. Alright, so where are we going to go from here? And of course, we sit here and start doing the armchair booking. And all of a sudden, it's like, okay, we have a Dean Ambrose. They're not going to do this, are they? They're just teasing. Okay, he's hand over the briefcase. They've announced it. Dirty D's, 1, 2, 3. What the hell?
So
they pulled the trigger.
We were kind of calling a whole Shield summer, in a sense, where with Dean Ambrose winning Money in the Bank, and we'll get to that in a couple matches. This is just going to be Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose just going at it with each other going into SummerSlam because John Cena is already occupied on his end. And then we don't have a returning Randy Orton yet. So we don't really have a full main event roster yet. But with the addition of Dean Ambrose...
But to be honest, like, we now have the Summer of the Shield. Because frankly, they've got July, they've got next month, and then they've got August, which is SummerSlam. You have the Dean Ambrose versus probably Seth Rollins,
because he is on the rematch.
Dean versus Roman Reigns, and then you do the 3-way at SummerSlam. So there's legs on this, regardless.
Well, Seth is owed an automatic rematch.
The case can be also made for Reigns as well, which is why we end up going into the 3-way scenario.
Do you do the three-way at SummerSlam, or do you wait
Oh hell
for
yeah! You
SummerSlam,
no
wait for
no
Night of
you
Champions, and do the three-way there?
no no you do it. You do it at SummerSlam. You do it at
Okay.
SummerSlam. This is your counter to Cena versus AJ3.
Or Cena versus AJ 2, if that's a thing. If
Two
three
will
doesn't
be
become a
next
thing.
month. Three will be SummerSlam. I'm gonna call it now.
Okay. All right. So we got that. We got that settled down and ready to go. So we go to the U.S. Championship match, and this was just the massacre in the T-Mobile arena, like the T-Mobile massacre. Rusev just destroys Titus O'Neil in front of his kids.
Yeah,
Uh,
pretty much. It was a lot of Rusev being the heel in front of the kids. It was beating the crap out of Titus O'Neil, but let's be honest, no one gave a rat's ass about this match because at this point we were in like the last 2 minutes of the NBA Finals, and that was more exciting than anything WWE could have put on.
I'll be honest with you. Happy Father's Day to the kids. That was actually pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that's why Rusev is such a good heel at that point.
Yeah, I'll tell you. All right, so we go to the Money in the Bank championship match. Excuse me, the Money in the Bank ladder match. Dean Ambrose is your winner, obviously, as he is the WWE champion right now. This match was actually pretty interesting. I couldn't say it was good, and I couldn't say it was bad.
This was exactly the car crash that Money in the Bank usually is. You know, it's guys being powerbombed on the ladders, sometimes on the side of ladders. Kevin Owens, I hope you're back heels.
And you
Um,
nuts.
yeah, Cesaro giving everybody uppercuts left, right, and center.
Ladder
Uh,
shots to the
th-
back.
yeah, this was pretty much what you expected. It was a car crash of epic proportions,
But to be fair,
and
like,
that's what you needed.
remember, I've always liked more the older Money in the Banks when Shelton Benjamin was involved and when Kofi Kingston was involved because you never really knew what they were going to do or what dumb things they were going to do. Like Shelton Benjamin doing a tope off of the top of a ladder, which is in the ring to everybody outside, or Kofi Kingston just doing some like high wire act, a la Royal Rumble. This one is just a bunch of guys who can brawl, and I think that this one might give it a leg up.
Well, this is the thing. Like, when you take a look at the guys that were involved in this match, Jericho, Cesaro, Zayn, Del Rio, Owens, and Ambrose. Zayn's the only one who does that big dive, flippy stuff. And even then, he's got to be careful because he's only just come back uh, off injury.
Yeah.
So, it's a bit hard for them to do this type of thing. But hey, look, as I said, it's a car crash. It had people being thrown into things, powerbombed onto things, hit with things. That's exactly what you needed.
All right, so obviously Ambrose knocked Owens off the ladder to get the briefcase. Do we see Owens getting involved in the title picture as long as Ambrose is champion?
Uh, I don't know. Like, it could be possible because of the way Owens being the heel, that he's just a big whiny baby. Um, it is possible that he could, claim, hey, give me a shot at Ambrose. I almost had the Money in the Bank contract. So that could be something after the SummerSlam Shield stuff,
So Night of Champions,
possibly.
We see Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens for the title.
Could be possible if they
Okay,
keep the belt on Ambrose that long.
yeah, I think they will. Just to keep it fresh. I mean, Dean Ambrose. I mean, everybody was wanting Dean Ambrose, and this is the best way they did it. We go to John Cena versus AJ Styles. Obviously, the match everybody was waiting for. They put AJ over.
Yeah, it was a surprise they put AJ over. There was a ref bump involved. You also had Anderson and Gallows coming out to get involved in the finish. But this was high energy and a lot of good storytelling from start to finish. So this was the match that lived up to the hype. As far as I was concerned, this is where the night ended. That
I
was
agree with that.
that was the match that I wanted to see. After that, everything else was just window dressing.
And it's funny when you look at John Cena versus AJ Styles. The fact that John Cena is like his goes legitimately like last minute goes for like the word life leg drop, and just like misses because he gets hit with the power bomb counter, or Pele kicks and Styles clashes and springboard 450s going into knees and all this other stuff, and the finishing sequence going there, and the fact that it's AJ Styles legitimately trying to prove that he's better than John Cena in every way, but John Cena like, no, you're not better than me. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I've been doing this for 15 years. You might have been doing this for longer. You may have been world traveled, but either we're on the same equal level or I'm better than you. And I think the ending proved that Cena is still the better man going forward in a lot of
Well,
ways.
at this stage, yes, Cena has that moral high ground that he can preach upon from here, saying, yeah, you took me to my limit, but it took you and your boys to beat me, whereas I can beat you straight up one on one,
Right.
which is where you get the continuation of this coming from.
Right. And the funny thing is, if they do want to include it, the New Day is still champions. They can probably give the New Day a break from defending and just basically say, hey, it's going to be John Cena and the New Day versus the club, or John Cena and the Usos versus the club, or any tag team they just want to put there. If you want to put Enzo and Cash, you can put Enzo and Cash there, and it'll be okay.
Yeah, but you don't need to bring another team into this. Uh,
Keep in
the New
mind,
Day,
still,
New Day are probably going to go on to something to do with either Boyd Villains or Enzo and Cass from here.
or American
You
Alpha
don't.
if they want to.
Well, no, that's not going to
I'm
happen.
kidding, obviously.
But you don't need them involved in this. Cena can hold his own against three thugs. He has proved that time and time again.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, look at Legacy.
Now what the story becomes is AJ Styles has to prove himself to Cena in order to get Cena's respect back.
Right.
So you might have AJ trying to say to Gallows and Anderson, look, I know you're trying to help me, but I need you to stay away. I've got to do this myself.
So we get another one of those breakup angles, quote unquote, again.
Well, no, it's not going to be a breakup angle. It's going to be AJ trying to, basically trying to put his footing in the company.
Right.
He's still being pushed as that outsider. You came from Japan. You came from.
PWG.
We won't name that place.
PWG, Ring of Honor,
Yeah.
New Japan. So
You're that outsider, and all you've done is you've come and brought your outsider friends with you, and you're trying to run Rutshot, which isn't going to happen on John Cena's watch.
which is funny because if you go back, I mean, the contract signing, John Cena specifically stated, dude, AJ, you just like everybody else from the Indies who came and said the same shit to me and they got turned back. I'm kind of shocked that he didn't say the only one that actually managed to beat me was Daniel Bryan, because that would have been fucking great. But
But that's the thing. It's now going to be more about gaining John Cena's respect more
right,
than building a generation, which is what they're originally starting to do. But
yeah,
of course, we can't have that because John Cena rules every generation from now until forever.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if you build the like, it's kind of like building the Undertaker's respect backstage, or building, or what they did. Going forward. Remember when John Cena and Atlanta Jordan came in and Undertaker say like, "Yo, I respect you, kid," and all that shit. That's what they're trying to do with him because they don't have that Undertaker there anymore. Would you agree with that?
Sorry, I missed that.
No, I was stating about how remember when back in like 2002, 2003 when Atlanta Jordan and John Cena debuted, how Undertaker gave them a respect. It's like, yo, I respect you, kid. Blah blah blah. They're trying to do that with John Cena now. Have
Yeah,
him play that Undertaker role.
but instead of but the thing is, like the thing with Undertaker was he did that on Cena's very first match against Kurt Angle.
Right. And same thing with
Whereas
Orlando Jordan. Yeah.
whereas AJ is taking like the way they're doing it with AJ is he's taking the very long way around to get that nod that Cena got in one night.
Fair enough. I mean, you got to keep it. With the I want it now kind of thing is like trying to keep them interested is gonna be kind of hard. But I'll be honest with you, man. This was still a good match. I think this was match of the night, hands down.
Oh, well and truly match of the night.
No questions
Uh,
asked.
def- yeah, no questions asked. This was definitely match of the night.
Yeah. All right. So right before that, we had Apollo Crews versus Sheamus.
It was a thing. You had a guy up against another guy that we really didn't give a crap about. So yeah,
Yeah. Apollo Crews won with a roll up. He smiled to the back. Sheamus was mad. Go watch Ninja Turtles.
pretty
That was it.
much,
Yeah.
pretty
That's
much.
pretty much. All right. So we go rolling out to Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natty and Becky Lynch.
Welcome to the women's match becoming the bathroom match once again. Piss poor match from
Because
everybody.
Charlotte can't sell for shit.
Pretty much.
Can we please, for the love of Christ, get the belt off of Charlotte? Just do it. Put it on Becky Lynch. Just do it. Like, you don't have Sasha right now, and Nikki Bella is currently training with Daniel Bryan. Can we please get the belt off of Charlotte? Because Charlotte might be the worst professional wrestler not named Eva Marie. And Eva Marie knows how to sell.
Yeah, I'm not going to go that far with it, but I'm definitely going to say, Charlotte, they need to get the belt off her. Maybe the newly turned heel Natalia could do something, I guess.
Or just give it to
Why
Becky.
she turns heel, I have no friggin' idea.
I hope we get an explanation maybe Monday night as to say I was just frustrated. I apologize and all that good shit. Maybe it's going to be Becky versus the world. If they do Becky versus the world, I think that might be the best thing they can do for Becky Lynch's character. Because remember, Becky Lynch didn't have an actual character until recently, or an actually reason to be on the roster until recently.
I guess.
So Becky
To to
versus the
to, to
world.
be honest, like I'll be honest with the whole women's division right now, they don't have any personality. The matches have gone back to being a bathroom break, and yeah, it's terrible.
Is it? I mean, to be fair, is it really anybody's fault outside of Charlotte just being a
No, it's not
void of
even Charlotte's
charisma?
fault. It's not even Charlotte's fault. It's
And the
the booking.
booking's kind of bad too. I'm gonna agree with that.
The booking has been terrible since they started this Divas Revolution thing, uh and Nikki Bella got a neck done,
And Sasha
and
getting the cuss.
everything just went downhill from there. So it's
Like you lose your
unfortunate.
two.
I don't want to blame the girls because I know for a fact Dana Brooks, really good wrestler in her own right. She's a bit dangerous at times, but she's a good wrestler. Charlotte, working with the right people, she's a good wrestler. Becky, one of the best wrestlers out there. Natalia, one of the best wrestlers out there, and a great example of what happens if you get hard work. But unfortunately, the way that they're booked in terms of their TV time, um, no wonder they're treated as a piss break. Whereas you've got the NXT Women's Championship being treated as a main event title that goes 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, going into what's wrong with the women's division right now in the WWE, again, you did mention Nikki Bella and Sasha Banks, the two hottest acts on the roster for the women, gone, injured, done. And Brie Bella is retired. So you just lost a good chunk of your charisma right there. And Sasha, the only way I can actually see a good remedy in is if they can get Sasha into a spot where they can work with her and get her to that top spot as fast as possible.
Who knows? All I know is we're spending more time on the women's match than the writers did.
The match before. So let's move on. The match before that was Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin, and up next, and right before that was the Fatal Four Way WWE Tag Team Championship match. I mean, for those that really want to hear about the Baron Corbin match, it was a match.
Just go back and watch the same match that you've seen for the last 2 months, plus Raws, plus SmackDowns. That's what you got tonight. Same old shit.
You know, Like Dolph, I'm only here for a paycheck. Ziggler, yeah, that's kind of accurate.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So we go to the tag team championship match, fatal four way: the New Day versus the Club versus Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains. Kofi pins Aiden English after taking down Carl Anderson with the Midnight Hour. And New Day is your tag team champion still, reaching for that 365-day mark going into SummerSlam 2016. This match was kind of fun. It was a fun opener.
Yeah, and that's what you're expecting out of this one, especially with the build-up. You've got three groups that are great talkers in the New Day, the Vaudevillains, and Enzo and Cass. But then you also have the big bruiser team in Gallows and Anderson. It was just a really good mix for what you needed to open a show.
And the funny thing about the New Day, and what I love about the New Day as a tag team, you can put them in any spot. You can even put the New Day in the main event, and they slot in just fine. Like I think they're the most malleable superstars on the roster. Would you agree?
I guess they sort of work, put them anywhere. But then again, you could say that with Enzo and Cass,
Right.
just because of the way that you've got the talker and you got the big bruiser, and it seems as long as you got people who can talk and people who can wrestle, you can be slotted in anywhere.
Right. So, there was a lot of action. There was a big 8-man square offs as well. So, there was kind of some, you know, cluster bomb action going on. I just think that the chemistry between these guys are fantastic as well. And honestly, I can't wait to see any combination of these guys wrestle again. Do we need any more tag teams in the WWE main roster right now? Yes or no? I wouldn't even be able to tell you. What about you, Carl?
I'd probably look into maybe moving one or two tag teams up, just to sort of flesh it out a bit. If they weren't already in the process of breaking them up, this would have been a perfect time to bring out Blake and Murphy.
Right.
They could fill that jobber role pretty well.
Oh, you talking about that? You talking about that Ascension role?
Yeah. Hell,
Nah,
bring the Ascension back out and have them job out a little bit. It's hard to remember who's in the tag division these days.
well, if you want to really list it, it's the New Day, then the Club, then Enzo and Cass, the Ford Villains, the Lucha Dragons, the Dudley Boys, Golden Truth, and Breezango. That's and freaking Epico and Primo, if you really count them
And
as a
the
tag team,
Ascension, as we
and the
forget about them
Ascension.
once again.
Yeah.
Only not even 5 minutes after saying their names, we forget about them right again.
Yep. That's the
But
thing that happens.
but the thing is, like, there's so many tag teams with personality in NXT
Yeah.
that you sort of look at the main and go, well, shit, who's got the personality?
The New
Enzo
Day.
and Enzo and Cass, the New Day, and the Vaudevillains. They're your teams with personality.
Well, the club also has their own personality as well. But
Yeah,
it's a
but
different time.
if they didn't, I'll be honest, if Anderson and Gallows didn't have AJ with them, you wouldn't be thinking anything of them. They are just a generic big bash tag team.
Oh yeah, definitely. They are what pretty much like Gallows and Mercury were back with the Straight Edge Society. Really?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I'm just throwing. I mean, listen, I'm trying. I just can't think of anybody recently. I was gonna say Big Show and Kane, but so I mean, that's your main card for the night. I mean, do we want to go into the pre-show because the pre-show was there? Golden Truth beat Breezango, and the Dudley Boys lost to the Lucha Dragons.
That's pretty much all you need to know about that.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, this show. I mean, we went through the show pretty quickly, but this show was a very, very middling show. and it wasn't WWE's best effort, and especially since they marketed this Money in the Bank show as their biggest show of the pay-per-view's history. I feel it's a bust based on how they advertised it. What would you say about this?
This is just one of those, you know, let's just get through it ones. Uh, this isn't a launching, wasn't really usually a launching point for anything besides Money in the Bank storyline.
Right?
And considering they've now blown through that in one night, um, there's not really much to it. Like outside of literally shock of the main event, and the goodness that was Cena versus AJ, this show was pretty much just like watching Raw,
Oh,
just
that
with more wrestling.
yeah, Raw with more wrestling. So speaking of wrestling and the NBA Finals, because those things happen at the same time, apparently on ESPN, while talking to Stott Van Pelt, freaking Kevin Love was wearing an Austin 316 shirt. That's more interesting than half of this card.
Pretty much.
I feel bad saying that. I mean, I feel bad saying that as a
Yeah,
fan of this company, but
and so do I. Look, I feel bad saying it, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. I'm going to call them out on their boring pay-per-views, and this was one of them. Let's face it. It could have been that they realized Game 7 of the NBA Finals was on tonight and said, well, fuck it, we're not going to beat that.
oh, and they're not going to beat that, but that's okay because then guess what? There's no sports playoffs going on next month for Battleground. SummerSlam is literally the biggest event of the summer. You know,
Yes, yes, it is. And at the same time, I'm interested to see what happens from here. Um, Anybody who sits there and actually likes to analyze wrestling from a business standpoint will notice that the ratings for Raw have dropped significantly since Roman Reigns has been champion.
yes,
Same with
sir.
house show attendance. Now that the belt's off Roman Reigns, do those numbers come back up, or is this something that you can't blame on Roman Reigns?
Well, honestly, we can definitely figure that out because Raws have been selling out. Number wise. I mean, Raws have been selling out. Pay per views still sell out regardless. Um, SummerSlam is sold out. We know that. Raw in Brooklyn is actively sold out as well. So we know
Your
that for
your your
SummerSlam.
live and your tape shows always sell out. Okay, the
Right.
stuff that's going to be on television is always selling out. The problem has been in the
The
house
house
show
shows.
market. House shows have been down for the last 6+ months, and the third hour Raw ratings have been tanking terribly.
But
So that's where you got to look at rather
you know
than
damn
yeah,
well
okay,
they're not moving
they're
forward.
packing they're packing Raws, that's fine, but when it comes to eyeballs on the product, they've been dropping when you get outside of the arena.
I agree with that. I mean, you know damn well that they're not chopping off that third hour of Raw. Um, and it sucks because it's literally burnout. And keep in mind, July 19th. Now, let me go and double check Battleground real quick because I did have that put up. WWE Battleground 2016 will be July 14th. So this is the first pay per view after the brand extension. This is going to be the first pay per view after the brand extension and after SmackDown and Raw both go live. And we have definitive rosters going in. Do we see a change because of the definitive rosters? Because if I remember correctly, SmackDown house shows used to outsell Raw house shows from time to time back then.
Yeah, but so it's hard to predict that type of thing because we haven't seen the effects that the new brand split is going to have on the roster yet.
Yep. So that's something.
So we've got that's something to visit next month.
Not even next month. I would say wait till SummerSlam. Really, give it a month of time. Give it a
Yeah,
month
true.
to kind of like sit and fester and figure out what those numbers are. And
Yeah, because
yeah,
you've got the rumors of NXT people coming up for that brand split. Plus, it is a brand split, and also by SummerSlam, it'll have been around a while that we can actually see some more numbers. Plus, SmackDown also being live will be a factor as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because a lot of, and from what I understand, apparently according to Forbes, WWE's contacting some of their older talent for the brand split. Like people like Kurt Angle. I'm like, why? Like it's probably just to get them started. So there's something there that we may have to wait and see for that first month to really begin to analyze what's going on. But do you have any final thoughts going out of this post show wrap up?
Yeah. Can somebody check the temperature in hell because Cleveland have a championship?
Ohio has championships in general. Freaking
Yeah,
Dean
that's
Ambrose
even
is from
worse.
fucking Dean Ambrose is from Cincinnati, man.
Oh, good God.
Like when was the last time the Cincinnati Reds had a championship?
God, I have no idea. I'm just gonna sit here with my Jordan jersey going count the rings, bitch. But the
Yo,
WWE wise, we've seen. Hopefully, this is the beginning of the fall of the Roman Empire, and we'll see how creative take it from here.
you know something, man? I'm gonna have to say I agree with you 100% on that one. I think the Roman Empire needs to be crumbled a little bit. Needs to be crumbled a little bit and just
We
rebuilt.
haven't taken the castle, but we've stormed the front gate at least.
Exactly. And to answer my own question, the Cincinnati Reds won a World Series in 1990. So that's something there. But yeah, you're right. The Roman Empire really needs to be rebuilt and really needs to be reestablished now. And this is an opportunity to reestablish. And you have all three members of the Shield who were champions at one point in time tonight. So this sets up a lot of stories. Monday night is going to be very interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our WWE Money in the Bank post show wrap up. Make sure you check out all the rest of our podcasts, the Outerhaven podcast, which is every week, Sony Centric, which is every week, as well as the A1 podcast with Josh, Piedra, and the crew, William Cook and Matt Paul, as well as what's that other podcast? Oh yeah, The Experience with myself and Keith Mitchell. Wow, I can't believe I forgot my own podcast. That's a thing that happens. The shock of Dean Ambrose being WWE champion.
It's been a long night.
Yeah, it's been a definite long night. It's 12 o'clock. I gotta get ready for work. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. On behalf of Carl Smart, I'm Clinton Navigator Bowman. Catch you next time for WWE Battleground 2016.